complicated with the time difference and all that kind of good stuff. Although yesterday, who had the great phone? The Lieber phone connection? How does Lavelle have a bad phone connection when he's like 5 minutes from here, and Lieber is on the outskirts of London, and it sounds clear as day?
It's fascinating.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's just on brand for him, right?
Sad but true. If you have questions that I could pass along to Bill Guerin, as I mentioned, the Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line is open at 64686. I think we're just trying to work through some technology issues, right, to get everybody on board. Because I think Guerin is joining us via StreamYard. I call it Barnyard. It's StreamYard, right?
Yes.
That's the idea?
And you will be able to watch right now, KFAN.com/watch.
Well, where is he? What's he doing? Is he resting on his laurels? Oh, we got him. Now we got the one and only Bill Guerin. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now.
Oh, great.
It's outstanding. By the way, Lou Nanny vindicated by this deal. You know that, right? And do you know why?
No.
I know you love this. Well, Louis said at the state fair, $16 million a year is not going to get it done. You're going to have to go higher. Now, he predicted $18 million. So it seems like you guys just split the difference, and it ends up being $17 million a year. So vindication for Luigi. Any thoughts?
He said 18.
He did technically. I'm trying to give him
don't kiss his ass. Seriously.
Yeah, but he said 16 wasn't going to work.
All right. Well, then I guess he gets it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm fudging a bit, but it's a big day for Louis.
You're
Louis
fudging a bunch. I love Louis. Great. I had a conversation with him about it, and
okay, there you go.
Louis and I have great talks. Like
I don't. Well, you guys are both cut from the same cloth. You can be honest with one another, and you're not going to pout. You know, you're going to get. No. You might argue with each other, but then you get past it. You know.
Yeah, we do. We've had our disagreements too, but I love talking to him. He's
the best.
He's great.
Well, I think tonight, by the way, he's being inducted into the Minnesota Broadcasters Hall of Fame. I think that might be this evening. So I was trying to throw him a bone. You know, it's one of like 9 halls of fame he's in. You know, I think he's close now to double digits. But in fact,
it's well deserved. I mean, he's done a great job.
The high school hockey tournament alone. He's part of that, and I was proud to be I wrote the nominating letter for him, note, which I love doing because it wasn't hard to do. I didn't even have to fake it, you know.
Yeah, no, you can't fake anything.
No, that's probably true. Let me ask you this question: when you made the $16 million a year offer? Did you do it pretty much knowing? I doubt you looked at it as like, okay, we'll play the game back and forth because that's a hell of an offer. But deep down in your mind, you're going, we probably are going to have to come up, but let's go ahead and get the ball rolling here. What do you think when you look back on this whole process?
Yeah, I mean, look at I don't love the game. I don't love all right, we'll start real low, you start real high, we'll bust each other's chops for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then we'll finally meet in the middle where everybody knew we were going to end up anyways. I don't love that game, but I always try to make really fair offers, like close to the number that will get it done. That's just the way I like to operate. But I hoped he would have taken the 16, but you know what? It took a little more, you know, and that's fine. You know what? I like to make deals. I have the ability to say enough's enough. And I also have a good feel of when I need to give a little bit more.
So my assumption is this was earlier today you knew. And how does this happen? At the moment of truth.
I actually knew last night.
Okay. And so let us on now that it went well, I would assume you could get us on the inside a little bit here on. So is it you calling the agent and saying, we're going to 17, here's the terms, whatever, and then they immediately say, got it, or it's let's think about it and we'll call you back in an hour? What was the sequence?
Yeah, the sequence was that 17 was offered. There was another counter. I didn't accept it, and then
Okay.
we just settled on 17, which I think was a good thing, and we're really happy about it. I mean, I think if you saw some of the other media today, like
Yep.
Kirill's thrilled. He's so happy to be here, to stay in Minnesota, to be part of what we've been building here. That's the important thing.
You, I think, can talk more honestly about this now that it's done. Because as you said, you have every reason to be happy about it. Wild fans should be happy about it, although I want to mention later to you some of the texts that I've received, which are kind of interesting today, kind of surprised me. But can you honestly tell us, because I have, and maybe, you know me, I can occasionally go a bit dramatic on the bit. But I said that the level of devastation, if you would have had the dawning of that moment, you and your ownership, that we ain't going to get this done here, and we are going to have to open the door to trading him because he obviously can't let him walk, would have set this franchise back a minimum of 5 years. Is that too dramatic?
No, it's not. I agree with you, and I think that's why it was so important to get him signed. Listen, we've put a lot of hard work into this organization the last six years, and everybody, top to bottom, business side, hockey side, players, coaches, everyone. We didn't want to take a step back. And when you move on from a player like Kirill, you never get fair value back.
Exactly.
You know what? You can't. You know what? A couple first round picks, a prospect, and a young player, that just doesn't cut it. That doesn't. All those things combined together are not impactful on your team today. And we don't want to go backwards. We want to go forward. So I was thrilled to just get it done for that reason alone.
Was there ever any, is the longer this went, the more time we had to fill? And I had this conversation with several people that I actually think, given his age and even given the injuries a year ago, that the franchise, clearly you had to do what you did, but that the franchise might be better served if his agent goes to you and says, you know what, we're not interested in 8. We want to go 4. We're going to play it kind of halfway. I have faith in my client, and we're just going to kind of play it halfway. That actually, in some ways, 4 years might have served the franchise better. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, I see your point, because you get the best years.
Yes.
Of a player, but elite players are the guys that play the longest too. They're the ones. I mean, you look what like guys like Crosby are doing, like what Malkin's done at an older age, what Ovechkin's done. Like, the elite players are the ones that play longest. And 9 years for Kirill, yeah, there's always risk. There's just always risk. You cannot avoid it. But I don't think I would think like maybe a 1 or 2 year would have made sense for him, not 4, because then that puts him at, kind of an awkward age. But man, that'd be a risk, leaving all that money on the table too.
That's true.
And yeah, we're happy with, I know it's 8 years, but it's really 9 because we have him for this year as well. So we're happy.
That, in the back of your mind all along, I have to believe that you felt that was one of your most effective chips. That even if the money is, getting to the money takes some time, that he can't walk away from this pile of money. I mean, and this level of security, right?
I wouldn't. I don't think you would either.
No.
But listen, athletes are competitive too. Athletes, these guys believe in themselves. Sometimes it's okay to bet on yourself, but that's a pretty nice safety net to play with now for the next 9 years.
Help me understand the way this contract is structured. That basically, starting in 2026, he will get $1 million a year in salary, but then signing bonuses of I think the first 4 years it's 18.1 million each year, and then 16 mil, 14.2, 12.7, and 12.7. Is this a new concept? Is this the direction huge contracts with superstar players are going, or how do you end up here, and what is the distinction?
No, this has been going on for a while. I think Jared Spurgeon might be our only other guy that had signing bonus, but we kind of held firm on that for a long time and didn't give them out. But that's all changed now. But yeah, listen, listen, these are guaranteed contracts, not like the NFL, but the NFL, a lot of guys get it because they get it up front. And,
Right.
that this is just getting the money quicker, being able to, invest it and watch it grow instead of waiting for it. So, those are going to be some nice checks.
Yes, they certainly are. Are you more happy or relieved?
I'm both. I'm ecstatic that we got it done. I'm just relieved that I don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to hear people say, "Hey, you going to sign Kirill?" And I mean, yeah. So I'm relieved in that aspect. But I'm happy. I think it's a great day for the franchise. I think it's a great day for our fans. Our fans saw the devastation of what happened with Gabrick when he left.
Yep,
and we
absolutely.
didn't get anything.
Yep.
And these players just don't come up all that often. And we have a guy that honestly, he was gonna have choices, and he chose us. He chose Minnesota. And I think that says a lot. You know what? Because he could have gone somewhere else or could have put more pressure on us, and he didn't. He said, this is my place. I want to stay here.
Maybe you can speak directly to some texters, because early in the show, I got a surprising percentage of texts from people going, it's too much, too many years. He was hurt last year. He's a little older. He's not 20. He's not 25. He's coming up on 29, and it's just too much. So what would you say to those? I was surprised because we get a lot of texts from the hockey community, and it was, I think, a pretty, for me at least, astonishing number of people who are saying, I don't know. What would you say to those folks?
Well, I would say, what does our team look like without him? I mean, what do you want? Like this is the best player this franchise has ever had. The Timberwolves aren't going to let, Anthony Edwards walk. They pay him almost $50 million a year. He's our franchise player. So it is a lot, but it's not as, I don't feel like it's as insane as everybody thinks. Our salary cap's going up. We have other core guys like Boldy, Eck, Faber, Rossi, guys like that signed long-term. I think that's where it's different too. Other teams that have, cap issues, it's not necessarily the top guys that are the issues. It's the guys underneath that maybe are overpaid. So I'm really comfortable with it. I get what people are saying. Like, he's 28. This is a long-term deal, but it's a better option than letting him go.
Your owner chatted with, you're familiar with Russo, Michael Russo, I think earlier today. I want to run a quote by you. We think that there are players that we're going to be able to get that will complement our team. Are we going to be able to get another A-plus player? That's pretty hard to do, but our hope is that Minnesota becomes a destination spot. Can you speak to that issue? Does this contract allow you potentially to get another A-plus player? Because your owner makes it sound like he's not sure it does. What's realistic? What's feasible? What are the, I guess you could say, in that sense, the pros and cons of this kind of ambitious deal in that regard, in terms of adding?
Yeah, I think anything's possible. I think if A-plus players are available, we'll make it happen. I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. I mean, I think when you have a guy like Kirill, good players attract other good players. And if you have a guy like him, other players say like, oh yeah, you know what? I would love to play with that guy. And that kind of goes back to the previous question. If he's not here, other good players are saying, well, who am I going to play with? I mean, yes, we have Eck, we have Boldy, we have Rossi, we have Zuki. You know what? But Kirill's different. So yeah, it's definitely a selling point for us.
You're a fairly mercurial guy. I think you will agree.
Don't know what that means.
Well, it means you're volatile. You're capable of getting pretty pissed off from time to time. And I'm wondering if you could tell us if there was ever a point during this whole process when you were at your most mercurial, when you were hot, when you were bleep this. Is this really? I mean, was there ever a point where Billy Guerin had to check himself a little bit in that regard?
Not as much as you might think. Sometimes it's a little confusing on why a player's not accepting this or that or whatever. But yeah, there were times I would get ticked off, but not to the level maybe that like when you upset me.
Yeah, that's a different level.
I go out of my mind.
That's DEFCON 1, yeah. I've certainly seen it all the time, for sure, yeah.
Some of your questions just drive me nuts. So I go crazy. But no,
yeah.
This time
not
around,
to that extent.
Yeah. It was just, you know what? It was a long mental grind. And that's just the way it is.
Well, I would think it's almost like you've talked about this before in other contexts, that you have had to check yourself some, try to back away a little bit, show a little bit more restraint for the good of the organization, no matter how you might feel internally. And I would think this is one of those where you got to play it slow and long, right? And you can't lose your mind over any of it, because in the end, you can't forget the goal. And the goal is so bleeping essential that in that sense, it almost makes it easier to stay the course. Yeah.
The most important thing is understanding that this is not about me. This is not an agent against Bill Guerin.
Mm-hmm.
This is my job. I'm representing the team, the organization. And yes, there are times where what I'd like to do is A, but what I need to do is take a step back and do B, because that's what's best for the team, for the organization, for everything. And that's what we're going to do.
I'm going to ask you one of those annoying questions that that may be unanswerable, but it's not going to stop me from asking it. Is there any part of you that believes that if you had not been able to consummate this deal, the most important deal in the history of this franchise, there's no question about that because it involves the best player in the history of this franchise, that it might have cost you your job?
No, I don't think so. You know what? Craig and I have a great relationship. He trusts me. We were not going to let him go for nothing. I can promise you that. Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong too.
By the way, you mentioned Zuccarello. It's worth mentioning at least a little more detail. So out Is it 7 to 8 weeks? Is that what's being
Yeah,
reported right
he's
now?
out 7 to 8 weeks. Yeah.
How frustrating is that?
You know what? I feel bad for Zuki. Listen, we're going to have somebody, make the most of an opportunity. Tarasenko is going to get a look in Zuki's spot on the power play, I think. Ogren's going to be able to jump into an open slot. These are opportunities for other guys, but I feel for Zuki because he's such an important part of our team and competitor, and it's frustrating, but I talked to him today for a while, and he just said, I'd rather play 65 games at 100% than 82 at 70%. So I'm glad he's on the mend, and hopefully he can heal up fine and join us when he can.
During this whole process, what's the protocol, or at least the protocol that you adhere to regarding speaking directly to Kirill?
That he's our player, and I'll do it whenever I want.
During the negotiation process?
Yeah, I never negotiate with players. I never
Right.
try to talk numbers with them. You talk hockey, you talk life, you talk, decision making and things like that. But yeah, he's our assigned player. I can talk to him whenever I want. Sometimes the agents don't like it, but that's too bad. His was fine with it. He didn't mind, and that's just it, But I don't negotiate with them. It's just you just try to talk to them about hockey and other things.
You want to keep the lines of communication open. That makes sense to me. So how often did you talk to him during this, let's just say the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, I probably talked to him 4 times.
Okay.
And then there's, you want to keep things as normal as possible also. So, you also don't want to overdo it and not give him room to breathe. It's you don't. Yeah, you just don't want to upset his entire life and daily routine and things like that. Just go on and, try to be as normal as possible.
So before as the press conference began, I think you guys were sitting down, and somebody from the Peanut Gallery, one of the media jackals, somebody asked something about Kirill excited. And I think you threw in he bleeping better be, which I thought was one of the entertaining moments of the presser even before the presser started. Is he? I mean, he's not a guy who I think tends to articulate great joy all the time, but is he? Have you talked to him about that? Is he excited? Do you sense that this is big for him?
Honestly, when we signed his contract and the smile that he had on his face, we were cracking some jokes, and his laughter was just. You could tell he was genuinely happy and excited. And, I thought he did a great job in his press conference too. It was, he's got a great sense of humor, but he's happy.
What, at his best, at his healthiest, what does Kaprizov represent to this franchise and to the game in terms of what he does on the ice?
Oh, wow. Man, a lot. I think, what it's the talent, the goals and this and that that's all fantastic. He competes so hard each and every night. He takes care of himself. He trains like a madman. He practices hard, and then he shows up for the games and he competes like crazy. He doesn't back down from anybody. He goes into traffic. That's what we want. These highly competitive guys that pull guys into the fight. And if you're not playing as hard as he is or as competitive as he is, you probably won't fit on this team. That's how he leads, and that's how he kind of represents our team.
Did anybody tamper?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You'd know.
I don't know. Tough thing to prove.
It's an interesting answer. Did anybody call you directly and say, look, in case we'd be awfully interested in talking?
No. One team did, but they were not serious.
Okay.
They were, yeah. But yeah, that was not a serious conversation. It was. So no, nobody really called. I think if things really fell through, then that would have been different. But I would have, if things fell through, then I make the calls.
That's it. That's true. So what's the celebration tonight? I have to believe it's not going to be, you're going to do something, or do you just want to rest? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I got to believe.
Rest.
Seriously.
I want to rest. No. I'm going to watch this game tonight.
Yeah, I forgot you got a game. That's true.
I'm going to go home and have myself a couple Tito's martinis with a twist.
Okay.
That's it.
Nothing crazy. No big meal, or you're just going to have the meal at the game?
No, I'll just have the meal at the game.
Okay, nothing special. Okay, and then just go about your business.
That's martinis at home will be special.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You know,
How many?
And my wife and I will go home, or my wife will be at home, and we'll probably watch a little bit of our show. And yeah, that's a perfect night for me.
A little bit of what? What's your show?
We're watching The Americans right now.
Oh, I hear that's quite good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I've not seen it. So that's your show of the present. That's the one you
show of the
into,
moment. Show of the moment. Yeah, it's really good. It's excellent.
It's supposed to be a good one. Congratulations on getting the deal done. And as always, we appreciate the extended visit, and we will. Season's right around the corner, you know.
Right around the corner. It is?
Yeah, it's pretty close. Be ready. I don't know if anybody told you.
Thank God I come on your show.
That's what we try to do.
Known that.
Yeah, it's the kind of hockey insight for which we become known over many, many years with the help of Luigi, who is going to join tomorrow, by the way, to talk about his Hall of Fame induction and his celebration on this deal being done for you guys.
Yeah, I was sitting in that studio the other morning playing the initial game.
I heard. How did that go?
It went well. I got one right.
That's one more than I got.
Yeah, it was fantastic. What a great, it was funny. I was at a game the night before, and nobody wished me luck like for the next game or this, that. Everybody was wishing me luck for the initial game.
It's big.
And I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I don't like, but it was a lot of fun. I want to do it again sometime.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's outstanding. Again, appreciate the time. Enjoy your martinis tonight, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you for having me on.
Appreciate you. Absolutely. Bill Guerin, the Wild general manager, in the wake of the news that Kirill Kaprizov is signed long-term. Let's get the media jackal perspective on the deal. Russo Radio after a brief pause right here in the Fan.
I'm Kirill Kaprizov.